Good afternoon. Welcome to this third day at ChangeNOW. Every year, hundreds of dolphins are found dead on the Atlantic shore of the Bay of Biscay. This number is increasing at an alarming pace since 2016 to reach more than 1,000 per year these last 2 years. And scientists say this is only the emerged tip of the iceberg. It is estimated that more than 10,000 dolphins die every year in the Bay of Biscay. What is causing their death and how can we avoid it? 5 projects have been trying to answer these 2 questions during this week with the help of 11 experts ranging from representatives of the French states, scientists, fishermen, and NGO. Let's discover together the solutions they are now bringing forward to reduce dolphin bycatch in the Bay of Biscay. So we will first hear from Dan Watson, co-founder and CEO of Safety Net Technologies. Dan, the floor is yours for 4 minutes.
Thanks, Olivier. Really great to be here. And I also want to thank the rest of the experts that we heard from and had the opportunity to speak with throughout the week, which was great. So I'll dive right in. So I'm presenting on behalf of Safety Net Technologies. We build precision fishing equipment to help fishing crews catch only the right fish. We have something called Pisces that we build, which is this, which fits in, emits light and helps to try and separate out the catch. And we also build a system called Enki, which fits into fishing gears, which is sensor-based, which allows a collection of oceanographic and fishing data to better understand how fishing happens. So we believe that this project needs to be a very collaborative approach and produce a sort of integrated system across the teams in the Bay of Biscay to solve the problem. And we found a number of insights from the different experts throughout the week as we got to speak with them. So the first one is there's just not enough data out there. We don't know enough about, for instance, dolphin populations in the Bay of Biscay. Aerial and boat surveys are quite expensive and therefore infrequent, and it means there isn't necessarily enough data captured. And fishermen don't also currently have a way of detecting dolphins. And they don't also therefore have a simple way of alerting other fishermen about the presence of dolphins if they encounter them. So we had a look at the data for the fishing vessel operations in the Bay of Biscay, and it's actually very crowded. There's a lot of activity going on there. So looking at our Enki system, what we're proposing is that we do something to extend the capability of the sensor system and turn it into essentially all the fishing vessels into floating scientific listening platforms, so that we can put acoustic sensors across the whole bay and start to listen into what dolphin populations are doing. And this would allow us to sort of not only understand some of the density of the dolphin population, but perhaps even look at the fingerprint of the dolphin calls to see if we can identify individuals as they move around and track the populations as well. And over time, build up a map of where dolphins are hanging out, when the populations are high and low, and at what levels. We think this could be done with fishing boats as a start, and that's what we do already. But we also think this could be done with ferries and other vessels operating in the area in the name of the public good. So second bunch of insights that we got were when are dolphins caught? So trawl nets have been quite well addressed with technical measures to try and lower dolphin bycatch with pingers, but gill nets still have quite a large problem in terms of that bycatch. So banning gill nets is not a realistic solution because shutting the fishery down for even 6 weeks would cost the industry about 65 million euros, which is clearly a big problem. So, but then also gill nets are really long. So trying to fit something like Pisces, like a light emitting device to it, is really difficult because the management and the expense to do that would be absolutely huge. However, we also learned that much of the bycatch occurs when the nets are being deployed. So what we're proposing is that we use a similar acoustic system to the one that we just suggested, because that can help fishermen know when they might have caught a dolphin very recently. So essentially fit this thing into the fishing vessel as the nets are deployed, listening out for the noises the dolphins are making. If there's a cry, like a desperate cry or something that sounds bad, that can alert fishing crews over an audible or visual system to say, something's happened, we've sort of translated this dolphin thing, the noise that we've heard, and it sounds like there might be one tangled, maybe you should go back and check, enabling them to reverse the vessel, get the net, and actually cut things out and remove them if possible, quicker than normal. So we think this is good as an approach because it fits in with Safety Net's observe, measure, and respond approach to technology anyway. We're already building connected underwater sensors and hardware that's deployed all over the world, and fishing vessels and crews are increasingly connected to the internet with machine learning properties that can help process and use this data usefully and quickly. It can help us build up an understanding of dolphin populations and the most appropriate responses over time, and mitigate the problem of gill net bycatch, which is a big issue. And we think this has to be collaborative. With all the teams here, we have lots of the bases covered: machine learning, data collection, aggregation, processing, and also surveys. Finally, what we need some funding to prototype the dolphin sense prototype. We need a government and industry-backed pilot for access to crews to get the right questions asked, and also 1 to 5 vessels to start fitting this equipment for a pilot to see if it can really work. And we, again, need to be collaborative with other projects in order to make this project fly. So we're looking to you to help us out. We're really excited about this and would love to actually make a big difference. Thanks for your time and thanks for listening. Oh, and good luck to everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Dan. That was exactly 4 minutes. That was perfect. So who's going to ask the first question? Vincent? Vincent, you're on mute.
Yes, I think that's okay. Okay, thank you, Dan, for this presentation, for this very quick presentation. I have just a simple question. Have you already tested your device, your system, and what kind of evidence do you have that this can reduce the bycatch in, I would say, 1 or 2 years' time?
Thanks, Vincent. So actually, we've traditionally worked with lights in fishing gears, but it feels like they're not appropriate for this particular issue. So we have we've developed an acoustic sensor, which can go onto fishing gears, and we use it for a range of different things. One is for geolocation, and one is also to start listening out to what's going on under the water as an additional data set for the things that we're collecting with the Enki prototype. So we see this as a sort of a natural extension of that, and we think there could be some really good work done. In terms of evidence, this would have to be something we have to pilot to see, firstly, can we actually identify the different nature of the dolphin sounds that are coming through the water? And can we start to actually recognize them to flag alerts at the right time? Because there needs to be the trust from the fishing industry to say, when this goes off, it's a real problem and I have to go and solve it, rather than it's going off all the time and actually this might not be the right thing. So we need to get that right. In terms of the data collection side of things, that's a bit more passive. I think when we spoke with you throughout the week, you really interestingly pointed out that you would love to have a whole network of acoustic listening buoys in the Bay of Biscay, but the scale of operation for that is absolutely vast. So taking the same approach that we've done with Enki and turning fishing vessels into floating scientific platforms allows us to massively extend the capacity of such listening outfits, but without a huge overhead of expense. It's simply adding an additional sensor and making use of those platforms that are already there, they're already connected, and there's someone who cares about looking after the equipment. So that's what we would propose.
Thank you. I have a question, maybe. So you're mentioning the fact that you would add a sensor on first fishing boats and then many other vessels. What would be the unit cost of this sensor?
So actually, the acoustic sensor that we have is relatively low cost. We're still sort of at a late prototype stage. And so, I imagine we could do this for probably £100, £200 is that kind of unit cost in terms of addition. There would be other things around that, and if someone's already using our equipment, then it's sort of well within their ability to afford it. But I think to scale this across a range of vessels and plug it into an existing connected internet infrastructure that a lot more vessels have now would not be crazily expensive.
And how many sensors would you need on a given net per kilometers, for instance, or something like that?
So actually, the sensors would be on board the vessel more than that, to be honest. We're looking at like one sensor per vessel that travels with the vessel and is there passively listening for dolphin noise, right? To start mapping it, and you could even then start using that for if you combine that with AIS, for instance, from the vessel. You could start to triangulate where those dolphin sounds are coming from. Again, with a bit more analysis from the AI side of things, you could start to identify those fingerprints in the calls to see if you can pinpoint individuals or schools and pods of dolphins over time. And I think what it would lead to is a far higher granularity temporally, but also geospatially. So throughout the entire year, you're gathering this data set that you can then add to understand the rise and fall of dolphin populations and sort of hotspots.
Hi, Dan. Thank you very much. I have a question about the assessment risk did you have about using lights in a fishing activity. As you know, in France, using light for fishing is forbidden because it's too effective. So which type of risk do you see with this type of technique?
Thanks for your question. I think what we've seen in other parts of the world with regards to light is that some of the regulation is, and Pascal may be able to help out here as well, but some of the regulation is looking at things like the South Korean fishing fleets, right? You see those very, very bright lights that go on top of fishing vessels and shine down into the water to aggregate fish. So the work that we're doing at Safety Net is much more about having greater control over which fish are being captured in the nets or not, right? So the lights we use are much lower power. It's a much more local effect. It's not spreading out over a huge area. It's very, very small effect because the light attenuates very quickly through the water. So you have a very good control over how bright those lights are and where they're going. Actually, for this project, light is not what we would suggest. We think it's much more interesting to go for the sort of the data capture side of things and maybe listening more on the sonic spectrum. And light in this instance probably wouldn't be appropriate because of the scale of the operations. And the fact that trawl nets have already been pretty well effectively dealt with by technology.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. And I'm sorry because I see that other people have more questions, but we need to switch to the second project. So Yanis, the floor is yours for 4 minutes.
So hello everyone, I'm Yanis, the CEO of ChangeNOW. So at ChangeNOW, we are a team of 45 experts in fisheries, dolphins, underwater acoustic, and artificial intelligence. We spend more than 10,000 days at sea to collect data. We have gathered more than 120 terabytes of open data and developed more than 60 algorithms to process it and provide insightful information. We are on a mission to end bycatch. During 1 week, we have spent a lot of time with 11 experts sharing with us their knowledge about the bycatch problem. And I'm happy to tell you there are solutions to change it now. All the experts have a different viewpoints with a precious part of the information to solve this problem. And all the experts also share the same willing, which is to end the bycatch. It appears there is 3 major needs with the same level of priorities, and that could be addressed at the same time and must be addressed at the same time. The first one is situational awareness. So situational awareness is to use existing information to better understand the bycatch. The second one is data collection, to have more precise complementary data, which are missing. And the third one are mitigation measures to reduce bycatch until reaching a sustainable goal. Our solution is a dolphins fisheries digital hub. This digital hub gathers all data together, can process it, you can visualize it, you can share information easily to make data-driven decisions. We have already gathered a lot of data, 120 terabytes, such as vessel position with AIS, marine mammal sightings, oceanographic information, meteorological information for several years, coming from private data or open data in European program. We are looking for access additional public data, such as Observatoire data and also VMS data, but also data coming from fishermen, such as a logbook. And then our machine learning process all this data together to better understand the bycatch issues. We can visualize the data, existing data, such as cetacean distribution, and we can provide prediction, such as a bycatch risk map. All this information could be displayed on a website or smartphone, easy to access by all fishermen and all stakeholders to make data-driven decisions. It's a way to share the data, share the information with the fishermen and all stakeholders in order to make the good decision. At ChangeNOW, we also provide data collection, quality control, and automatic analysis. We can provide aerial survey, boat survey, acoustic sensors, remote camera, acoustic buoy, and so on. We can also plug any type of device, external device or technologies, such as the one provided by the other startups, drone from Seaproven, device from Safety Net, or images coming from WIPSI. And by this way, ChangeNOW is a hub it's an end-to-end solution to create an ecosystem of data, information, solution, and partners. The setup for this dolphin fisheries digital hub cost is less than 40,000 euros. By starting in June, it can be ready in October. The yearly cost is 120k euros per year, which is a drop in the ocean regarding the bycatch issues and the value created by data sharing. ChangeNOW is a 360-degree situational awareness to make data-driven decisions that end bycatch. Are you ready to change now? At ChangeNOW, we are.
Good. Thank you, Yanis. So now the floor is open for questions.
Yes, I have one question. Yanis, thank you very much for this presentation, very interesting. I would like to know which type of data do you use to predict the risk of bycatch? Is it only observation data, or do you use other data?
Okay, we don't have a preconceived, I would say, hypothesis on what can influence data. What we want to do is to gather all possible information. So to predict bycatch, of course, we want Observatoire data, which is a fisheries observation data, which gives us information about the bycatch. And we want to cross-correlate it with all other existing information, weather data, discards, data of a logbook, VMS data, AIS data, satellite data. So we want to use all the information together to better understand where the stranding, what influenced bycatch, what influenced the stranding. And also what is important is also to share existing data, because today there is a lot of information which already exists, but fishermen do not have an access to it. It's really difficult for them to in an easy way, access the existing information. So this is what we want to do: analyze all the data together, including different type of sources of data, without judging if it's relevant or not relevant, and then display the most relevant information to the fishermen in order to help them to make data-driven decisions.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Yanis. I understand more or less what you want to do with this digital hub, but I cannot see how you imagine this would change fisheries practices and reduce bycatch.
Well, so if you don't have the information, you cannot act. If you don't know where are the bycatch dolphins, if the fishermen cannot access this information, how can we act? So the first for us, one step and one solution is to share those information.
Yes, but
the
how
second
do you
step,
make sure that when you have the information, you act accordingly?
Well, I cannot make sure of that, because we are not a control tool to control what has been done. We are an information tool. We give a board. Like in your card, you have a board, give you the speed. I can control you will be above the limit or under the limit, but I want to give this information for that. And then also, using all this data and information, we can also control if other mitigation measures are effective or not.
Yanis, thank you for your presentation. Are you sure the fishermen have a real opportunity to use all these informations in action?
Well, today they don't have the opportunities because they don't have an access to it. So then displaying this information, and the most relevant one, into a phone or iPad or whatever you want, you can also access some part of this information remotely at sea. But then when you come back to the port and you have a 4G connection, a 5G connection, you can update and have the last update information and the last update bulletin d'information or whatever you want. And then when they go back at sea, they have this access on their phone or tablet.
Okay, thanks.
I think Thomas has a question. And I just remind all of you, I cannot see all of you at the same time. So please do ask the question. Do not make a sign because I don't see all of you. So Thomas, please.
Okay, thanks, Yanis, for the presentation. How do you think you can evaluate the bycatch risk? Because there are a lot of fishing operations with dolphin around the boats or around the fishing nets, and no bycatch. So sometimes accidentally there is one further bycatch. How do you think you can evaluate this risk?
Well, the risk is by using the Observatoire data and then cross correlate with all information that we already have. In our team, we have people who did PhD in anomaly detection. So by definition, an anomaly is not happen quite often, but you can still find some patterns and some information that can help you to predict the risk of an anomaly. So we want you to use those techniques.
Yes, sorry, because we're over time. Okay. So I just suggest that you talk about this later with Thomas. And we switch now to the third project, which is Antoine Thébault from Sea Proven.
Hi, hello. So thank you. I'm Antoine Thébault. I'm the CEO of Sea Proven. And at Sea Proven, we developed and we operate some very specific boats. We developed some autonomous surface vessel. So this is a small version, of course. The real one is 20 meters long, so I can have this in my office, of course. But these boats are really interesting because they can be at sea during 10 months in total autonomy. It's an unmanned boat, 100% electric. And with that, our objectives are to collect a lot of ocean data to better understand what's happened in our oceans. So this is what Sea Proven is doing since a few years. Since four years now, we are working with the key partners. It's a laboratory named LIS. It's linked to Toulon University. And this laboratory developed some very specific acoustic sensors. We adapt this system to our boats. Just to give you an idea, each vessel now have 5 hydrophones under the boats. That make us able to listen everything in the water column under the boats. We are recording every noise produced by cetacean, mostly. And with that, we are able to better understand what's happened under the water. To give you an idea, we are able to have the position of each cetacean, so each dolphin in this case, but also the trajectory of the animal, of all the animal we are listening. So we can have a global view of what's happened under the water with this system. So the combination of our drones and this very specific acoustic system make us able to create what I can call a global 3D cinematics of what's happened under the water. So we are able to do that because all the analysis of the data we are collected are done by some intelligence artificial system. And just to give you an idea, we can collect more than 1 million signal per second with these solutions. But my idea is also to collect environmental data during the period we will be at sea, to also understand the global situation of what we try to observe. So today we can collect more than 50 different types of data, like the pollution, the quality of the water, temperature, etc. And with all that, we will be able to better understand the global situation of what's happened under the water. So today I'm here because we plan to start a new mission in July, from July to December this year. And we will do some demonstration of our technology with different partners, but we would like to take this opportunity to be at sea to try our technology on this issue. So we would like to be at sea in the Bay of Biscay in July, August, and September, and try to better understand what's happened near the nets of and near the boats of the fishermen. And the bigger interesting thing is with this kind of boat, we can be at sea during a long period. So we will be able to be there for a few months and even in the winter period, because a lot of bycatch are made in the winter period, and this period is really difficult to observe. But with our technology, we can observe during some period, and not all the winter, but in some period, what's happened under the water.
So, Antoine, so yeah. we just passed the 4 minutes. So
we'll stop that. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. Just to give you the opportunity, thank you, Antoine. Just to give you the opportunity to finish this your presentation. You say that the mission you propose will end by September.
No, we plan to be in the French area between July and September. But after that, we will go in Portugal and Spain to do some other demonstration, and we will be back in France in the Bay of Biscay in November, December. So we'll do maybe more demonstration of our technology in the end of this year on this subject. So we plan to do 2 sessions of observation of this subject.
Yes, but as you said, the most tricky period or problematic period is during January and April.
But we will be, my idea is to try our technologies this year as soon as possible, and to develop and adapt and update our technology to be able to be at sea again in January next year. That's the idea. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
We have another question. Thank you, Antoine, for your presentation. I know that your system worked for. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Your system worked for sperm whales to reconstruct trajectories of sperm whales, but sperm whales produce low frequency sounds that can be recorded at long range. And in our case, we are dealing with the common dolphins that produce high frequency sounds that can only be heard at very short range, maximum 1 kilometer, something like that. And I wanted to know if your system, if you already tried this system with dolphins or small cetaceans, and if not, if you have any idea of what do you expect to be able to do, given that you will only be able to record the animals within 1 kilometer?
No, yeah, that's a good question. Yes, we already tried that on dolphins in the Mediterranean Sea during the past years. So we know we are able to listen to the dolphins and to do what I explained. So have the position of each animals and the trajectory of each animals. And in terms of range, today, depending on the condition, of course, we can listen in a range of 6 miles around our boats. So, of course, if a big boat is passing nearby, it will not work that well. But with this system, and that's one of the specificity of our boats, this boat is really stable. That means it doesn't have a lot of platform movement. So because it's stable, we don't create a lot of, how can I say that, disturbance. And one thing, I think it's important, we can listen even if the weather is not good at level 3 or level 4. And not a lot of technologies and boats can do that. So we can do that. So that's one of what we can do also, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I have one question that connects to what was just said. One mystery is what's happening at close range from the fishing boat. And would your technology be able to? Do you have enough precision in navigation to be close from a fishing operation, or will you have to be fairly far away from them?
Yeah. We are able to be close. The idea is to work with some fishermen who want to work on this subject, of course, who are volunteers. So the idea is to collaborate to be able to be really close to the boats and the situation. But as you know, one of the situation where dolphins are the bycatch are important is not only when boats are trying to fish, but also when the nets are in the how can I say that? I don't know. Are in a fixed position. I don't know in English how to say that, but so we will do our demonstration following boats, but also in this situation where nets are fixed. Yeah.
And so your navigation system.
I know that there are other questions, but I'm sorry, we have to switch to our next project. So please, Teslim, could you present your project? You have 4 minutes.
Hello, everyone. My name is Teslim. I am the inventor of the Spyder Net. I have no prior experience in the sea industry, but I have a great idea, I believe. And the Spyder Net consists of basically redesigning the nets, because a lot of sea animals like turtles, sharks, whales, they get caught in these nets through no fault of their own. And we all know how the commercial fishing nets look like. It's normally very flimsy, and the fins of the sharks and the dolphins often get caught in it. So I was the Spyder Net is basically redesigning the nets to look more hexagonal. What's the word? Hexagonal, if that's the word. And also, the reason why it's going to be like this is because hexagon is the shape of the nets will be more stronger, is in nature, and you would often see it in the sea as well. That's one part of the Spyder Net. Another aspect of the net will be a magnetic screen door, which will go all vertical and horizontal, and also diagonal of the entire net. And along the magnetic screen door is going to be magnets that's going to be sewn into the magnetic screen door. So the purpose of this is that if a large aquatic animal like a whale or a dolphin gets into the nets, they can find a escape latch, I guess, in a way. And the magnetic screen door will reattach again, because it's going to be magnetic, obviously. So that is another aspect of the Spyder Net. I wish I could show you like a visual presentation, but we can't. And also for the dolphins don't see as best as like whales or fishes. They normally see through echosonic, which is like just sonar in a way. So the Spyder Net also is going to have a metal ball or metal beads that's going to be attached on the magnetic screen door, which will serve as a guidance system for the dolphins. And possibly, I don't know, I don't have too much data on whether sharks also rely on sonar. And so that's another aspect of the Spyder Net. And there's There's not too much data on whether sharks can see as well as dolphins, but the magnetic threads are going to be colored in 3 colors, either orange, yellow, or metallic. These colors are very high in contrast and they're not dark, so they will provide an extra guidance for the sea animals. Going forward from here, I would like to get my project into implementation because I have never really tested it out, and that is going to be my next step. And yeah, so yeah, that's it. Not too much.
Thank you, Des. So now the floor is open for questions.
Yes, hi everyone. Thank you very much. So you spoke about magnets a lot,
yes.
And many people all over the world work on magnets more as deterrent for dolphins because they will be able to echolocate the net or with these magnets. So, and you propose the magnets for, if I have well understood, as an opening. So it's only to stick the net and to let it, to give the possibility to escape. Don't you think that there will be an interaction with dolphins or cetaceans?
Yes. The magnetics are going to be sewn into the magnetic thread, which is going to serve as like a latch, and it's going to open up for like large animals like possibly dolphins, sharks, and possibly tuna fish because they're very strong. But that's one aspect we have not put into consideration as well. So it will serve as a escape mechanism, but it will close back and like form the net again. I don't know if you have ever seen a magnetic screen door, like a net.
Yes.
Yeah. I have one question, Tess. So as you say, you have not implemented your solution. How far do you think you are from something that you can really test and implement in the water?
Like a timeline?
Yes.
I would say, given the financial situation, and also I would have to estimate like 6 months to a year. Yes. But the budget for creating the nest will be around possibly $300 to $500 US dollars. Yeah, that's the only information that I have for you.
I have a quick question. What about commercial catches when the net will open to let the dolphin go, thanks to magnets? Yes. What about the commercial catches the fishermen want to keep? If it open, everything goes with that dolphin now?
Yeah, that's a great question. The whole purpose of the Spyder Net is to not let too much fishes out. That's why the magnets will be very strong in nature in the pool. And again, it's all about whether fishing nets are inherently good or inherently bad fishermen themselves. So it's about whether they're willing to let go of maybe, 7 to 15 fishes to let the dolphins out, because you can't have it both ways, I guess.
Yeah, they will have a trade-off between let the dolphin go and with some of commercial fishes. Okay, yeah. And just to let you know, magnetic materials have a direct interaction with sharks. People use that to. It's a repulsive for sharks.
Repulsive, okay.
Just that it.
Thank you. I did not know that. Any questions?
Yeah, we still have time for one question. So if there's no more question, then I suggest we move to the next speech. Please, Guygniec Duclos, please explain the next proposition for WIPC.
Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm Guygniec Duclos, founder and CEO of WIPC. So WIPC performs environmental impact digital surveys thanks to AI. We use deep learning techniques to detect and recognize wildlife species in photos and videos. We are committed to a dream that humans live in harmony with wildlife. In this case, humans are fishermen and wildlife are common dolphins. I would like to thank every expert for the time they spent with us to explain this problem and answer our questions. Thanks a lot. First, to start with our first proposal of solution written during the hackathon registration on the idea of using a drone ahead of pelagic boats in order to alert if a dolphin or a group of dolphins are coming. We discovered that during the session that it was not really interesting and feasible because we discovered that they are fishing during the night and it's hard to fly a drone during the night, and also we are not sure that it would give you good videos. But as we are already working on mapping cetaceans with aerial imagery in CMACAP project and also with for offshore wind farms in the future, we could help Pelagis to map a dolphin from the air with our digital solution. But during this session, we also understood that there are three issues. The pelagic nets bycatch, considered as 5% of them. Guygniec bycatch not really assessed. And we discovered that there is also a problem with dolphin deaths by fishing boat propellers. So what can WIPC propose to solve these problems? For pelagic net bycatch issue, as Eric Fishing Company is a partner of WIPC and Sea Brittany and University on Ifremer in Game of Soul Freehand project funded by EU. We propose to adapt this project a little to this purpose. Game of Soul is building a selective pelagic net based on deep learning techniques to classify fishes species and 3 not targeted species. So common dolphins are obviously in the list of not targeted species. But the problem with deep learning is the fact that we need a lot of videos with common dolphins underwater to train the algorithm. But there is an ethical issue because you think about trying to catch dolphins to film them being caught, it's not really fair. So I use this occasion to launch a call to action to every documentary and film producer and every whale-watching NGO who have underwater videos with dolphins to send them to us and give us the right to use them to train Game of Soul networks in order to be able to detect these dolphins in the future. Secondly, we recommend to put a second camera in this net focused on the entrance of the net to be able to film the dolphin behavior when they are entering the net. And secondly, for Guygniec bycatch issues, as the problem is not known, we recommend to film what is happening. So we recommend to film the falling phase of the net with an underwater camera, perhaps attached to the fishing boat, in order to see what happens when dolphins are coming and eventually bycatch. This video could be analyzed automatically by Game of Soul software if we succeed in building the neural network I mentioned before. As the problem is not occurring on hotspots, but we would recommend to equip at least 10% of the fleet. So it could cost less, around 800 kilo. Yeah.
I think we're already over time, so I just open the floor for questions, and maybe people will ask on the budget.
Okay.
So which is the budget you have for this project?
So for the first thing about Game of Thrones, I think with only 50 kilo euro more than the budget we already asked for this. We already asked for the season 2 of this project. We would be able to have the dolphin species in the network and be able also to use it in the test we have already planned for the next years with Eric fleet. And it's more about Guygniec fleet that it's more complex because we discovered that nobody knows where it happened. So if you want to have a chance to be able to film something, you need to put some cameras in many boats to increase the chance to have something interesting. So there it could be. I heard during this session that, for example, to equip a boat with cameras that are looking at what happens on the boat itself. I heard that it costs 20 kilo euro per boat. So if we want to equip 40 boats, it would cost 800 kilo euro. But this kind of camera could also be used later if finally this hypothesis is not the good one. We could use them to put them under the bottom line of the Guygniec on one net to be able to see what happened when dolphins are coming near the net. With the same idea is to have a chance to have a video of what is happening at this moment. And these cameras could also be used for the third problem when we think that they are going into the propellers of the boat. The same camera could be at the third part of the project, for example, put under some boats to see what happened when the dolphins are coming inside the propeller, but they don't know why.
So, Vincent, you have a question?
Yes, just a quick question. Thank you, Gonel, for your presentation. Do you see your project as a research project or a mitigation project?
I would say for the first part on Game of Thrones, it would be like a mitigation project for the pelagic neck because.
So yes. Okay. So if let's imagine that you can fix all the technical issues when you have this camera on a pelagic trawl. What do you expect from the fishermen to do when they detect a common dolphin in the trawl, so that they can get this group of dolphin out of the net?
It's already an objective of a Game of Thrones project. The idea is to free the fishes that are not targeted by the fishermen.
Yes,
so when the camera is detecting the not targeted fish, it opens the trap just after the camera to freeze the fishes or dolphins.
That's what I wanted to listen, because you could speak with Pascal Larnaud, because I think 10 years ago or 15 years ago, we have already tested some escape traps or escape windows on pelagic trawls, and we had cameras on these trawls, and it was very unfortunate to see how all the animals tried to escape through the side of the trawl, and they never used the escape gate, and they all died in the trawl. So when they are in the trawl, I can't see any, or in the pelagic trawl, I can't see any solution to get them out of the trawl before they die.
But I was not aware about that. So, but yeah, so that's not my expertise, you know. So this is the expertise of Ifremer. So if they can find another solution, it will be good. But I was just explaining what WIPC can do in the video analysis part.
So because we just mentioned Ifremer, so we let Pascal react to this, and we will end with this because we are already over time.
Yes, we mentioned that in our presentation on Thursday morning, and so I have even presented some videos with dolphins, only 1 or 2 dolphins escaping, but I said also that a lot of them didn't escape, and that they weren't able to escape, such as could do, for example, Tursiops bottlenose dolphin. And I have another question, maybe if I have time. No?
I think we're over time. Sorry, Pascal. The question will be for next time or offline. So now all the experts will send their votes to ChangeNOW to decide which is the project that the group of experts wants to support. And I will just, during the time that to let them vote, I will just give you more information about who are the experts. So we had on around the table Guy Claireaux, who is working for the French Ministry of the Sea. We also had Sophie-Dorothée who's there to represent the French Ministry of Ecological Transition. We have a third ministry with Hélène Renault, who's representing the Ministry of Agriculture. And so they are all very much involved in this bycatch issue and representing the states to help solve this issue. We had 2 prominent scientists. So Vincent Ridoux is a specialist on cetaceans, working for Observatoire Pelagis and the University of La Rochelle. Pascal Larnaud is working with Ifremer and is an expert with fishing techniques. We had also representative of the world of the fishing industry with Eric Guygniec, who's been working at sea as a fisherman for 30 years and is now operating a fishing fleet. We have Thomas Rimaud, who is working for Les Pêcheurs de Bretagne and very active to help solve these issues of bycatch. And Alexandre Mousseigne from France Filière Pêche, who is also very active here. And yeah, I just realized that I forgot Benjamin Guichard from OFB, so Office Français de la Biodiversité. Sorry, Benjamin, I should have put you together with the other scientists. And then, if I didn't forget anybody else, I think that the last expert was myself, working for Blue Oceans Partners. We invest in innovations to regenerate the ocean, and of course, solving bycatch issue is one of our top priorities. So I'm just looking with Marianne. Do you have the results already? Hello, Marianne? Seems not yet. So I will continue to explain what we've done during the week. So during this week, all the 5 projects have been spending a full hour of mentoring, asking questions with all the experts. And I realized now I'm seeing Dominique, I realized that I forgot to talk about Dominique Chevillon. Sorry, Dominique. So Dominique is the representative of LPO Agir pour la Biodiversité, so an NGO very active on solving this dolphin bycatch issue. So all these experts have spent a full hour with the 5 projects explaining how they see this issue of bycatch and explaining what they think could be a way to solve the problem. And there have been very good interactions so that the project holders could ask questions, could change the way they were thinking. And so, for example, Gwenaël mentioned that the first solution he thought of when he was trying to join this project, he realized that was not feasible. So his solution changed, and that's all about the hackathon. So we hope that it's been very useful. And what's also, I think, very interesting. So, of course, we put it as a kind of competition, and we're going to vote for a winning project. But we heard from all the projects that they want to collaborate together. They saw that they all have some specific knowledge on specific items, and they want to collaborate, put their strength together, so that collaboratively they can come forward with the best solutions to avoid this dolphin bycatch issue. So now I'm turning back to Marianne. Are you here? They're still not. So maybe Vincent, if you want, because you're really the one that sees all those dolphins on the beaches. Do you want to add anything while we're waiting for the results of the consultation?
Yes, I can say something. I have already voted. My view is that from what I have heard of the different projects, none is really a remediation project that would provide some results in the next few years. So I think it is a bit frustrating. And my other frustration is about the process of evaluation. So we cannot assess seriously technical projects in only 4 minutes without any document. So I have voted for none. I'm sorry for that, but I think it's not a process that allows us to say what is appropriate or what is effective, because we have no real document, there is no real evidence, and that's the reason for my vote. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. So my idea was more that you would talk about dolphins rather than on the...
Yes, I can talk about dolphins, but I think you have a lot of information on dolphins. You can see all the papers that we have produced, and I don't want to say much more on that. This year we have had less strandings because the weather was such that the drift was not pushing the carcasses on shore, but we have had some aerial survey showing that there was about 1,000 dolphins floating around in the Bay of Biscay, and that have never get stranded because the wind were not blowing in the direction of the coast. So there is no indication that the problem this year was less than the other years. So it is very important to have this in mind. So there is no sign that we have made any progress in the last 5 years, and that's I think something that is really frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Guy Claireaux, do you have anything to add while we are waiting for the final results?
Well, what I liked about the process was that we were aiming for solutions. I agree with Vincent that at this stage of the process in this project there are a few possibilities, but we don't have these solutions. My perception is that the main issue is what's happening around the boat. Fishing activity, and of course that's a very difficult issue because it's very difficult to actually see what's happening. You could put cameras, you could use acoustic, you could use many different things, but I don't think that these solutions actually tell you what's really happening. And unless we understand why the bloody dolphin get into the net, I think we are trying to look for solutions to questions we don't actually know very well. I mean, we can't really, pause the question properly. And so it'd be nice if we could understand better and really measure, or not measure, but figure out what these animals are doing. There are so many stories about, dolphin getting in and out of the net, dolphin getting, all these informations are there, and that just, they don't they don't match with, and it'd be nice if we could come up with some sort of understanding of what's happening there, within 100 meters, 200 meters from a fishing boat. And obviously there are technical difficulties in doing this. I was hoping that some of the project would be able to find some solutions there. I kind of see some, but obviously there'd be more work to be done before we get to that kind of information.
Yeah. So thank you, Guy, and Mina. I also agree that probably, and that's something that came forward with the project, is that there's a need for more understanding, more data, and that's also why the projects are a lot about looking for more data. And before, without waiting too long, now I think Marianne is here with the results. Yes. So please, I let you announce who is the winner of this hackathon.
Thank you, Olivier. Thank you, everybody, for such a great session like this about a very important topic: how to save dolphins from bycatch, and moreover, how to preserve marine biodiversity. So I wanted to thank you, all of you, because during 1 week, you brainstormed with 5 solutions, and during 1 week, you tried to help them to improve themselves. Even if you're not completely convinced by them, as I just heard, I still want to thank you very much, and I also want to announce the winner. Even if the project is not perfect enough, we are here to help projects to grow and to help them to improve themselves. So I won't keep the suspense going. I'm really happy to announce that the winner is Sea Proven. So congratulations. You will get a booth at ChangeNOW next year and a communication campaign from ChangeNOW during 1 year. And I kindly invite you to say a few words now, if you wish to. And yes, just congratulations.
Sure. Thank you for that. It's a real pleasure because we spend a very intense week discussing with all the experts. And first, I would like to thank you, all of you, for all your advice, and we learned a lot during this week. So I really want to thank you for that. I want to thank you also, Olivier and his team, because it's happened really in all this organization was not that easy, because it was really a condensed week. So thank you for that, Olivier, and your team. And maybe just a word, because I don't know if I have a long time for sharing my thing, but my view, my global view is I don't think we can find a miracle solution for this complex problem. We need a few different solutions to understand what's happened, and after that to change the way we are doing, the fishermen are doing their job, and try to help them to do that. And the spirit of this week was good in that way, trying to work together to solve this problem. I think it's a good way to do that, and I'm really happy to have participated to this program. So thank you, and I'm also great to have some time during this week to discuss with the other project, because we can do some collaborative work in the future. So I want to do that also. So thank you all.
Thank you very much.
I would like to say that congratulations for the winner, of course, but we are really far of the reality of the ground, because the situation is a very difficult situation. That's thousands and thousands of dolphins dead every year. So all these solutions are trying to, of course, find some the best trajectory, but we are really far from the reality. So it's really a regret for me because we have no time we not enough time for such an exercise. But I appreciate to be with you. Regret simply. Thank you very much.
Olivier, would you like to say something to close the day?
No, thank you, Marianne. I think you said everything and you announced the winner. So thank you, all of you, and let's work hard to have a solution as soon as possible. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.